Wake up now before it's too late. I've been telling you since 2020, the whole financial system is changing right before your eyes. As you look this way, there's always another narrative going on this way. And I've been stoic and I've been calm and I've been telling you exactly what I'm doing. My belief system is that XRP and Bitcoin are going to change the financial system as you know it. First, they resist it, then they sue it, then they regulate it, then they join it. Draper. We're now in regulation, joining phase, and adoption. Then we have tokenization. So in the long term, you're still early, but this is why people get wrecked. They're chasing riddlers, they're chasing dates. Trust me, people online here don't know what's happening behind the scenes. It is much bigger than we think. The change has been happening for a very, very long time, number one. Number two is it has to happen. Okay. You're not going to go into the new era of AI and technology with the old fiat system. It's not going to work. You're not going to go into the digital era without blockchain technology. You're not going to go into the new era where it's going to be unaffordable to own a home without tokenization and be able to tokenize real estate. So instead of giving you the hype, let's break down the facts, figures, numbers, logic. And I'm going to break down the stoic plan that I do every single day called capital DR. I'm not emotional. I don't wait for dates. I don't wait for saviors. I build discipline, consistency, and I stay calm like Warren Buffett. So let's dive right in. So first, we're going to listen to Eric Trump. I apologize for the phone being on there. All right, so let's dive into our first video here where we're going to show Eric Trump on PBD podcast talking about Brad Garlinghouse and Ripple. Let's check this out.
How do you feel about Doge? How do you feel about XRP, Ripple? How do you feel about, Ethereum? Where are you with the other three?
Know all of them extremely well. Know Brad very well at Xrp, and he's done a great job. Know Ethereum very well. I'm one of the guys who was early on this year saying buy Ethereum as it's crashing, and Ethereum's come ripping back. I mean, I'm a big fan of Bitcoin. I'm a big fan of Ethereum. Bitcoin is digital gold. Ethereum is definitely the oil by which all financial systems are going to run on. And they've done tremendously well. And I think honestly, cryptocurrency, all the altcoins, I think are going to do well. As Bitcoin rips, those are going to follow. But I'm telling you, if you look at our financial system, it doesn't make any sense.
Listen,
that it could take you 120 days to get a mortgage in this country, right? I mean, I banked with a certain bank for 25 years. I got a mortgage when I moved down to Florida just because under my father was like 2% interest rates. You'd be stupid not to, right? And so I get this mortgage. I went through 120 days of know your customer with a bank that I had banked with for 25 years. Like, try sending out a wire. Every single one of you deal with it. Try sending out a wire on a Friday afternoon at 4:30. Zero chance, right? Crypto is better, faster, cheaper, more transparent. It is the financial revolution in this country. There's no question about it. I would bet everything I have on the fact, in a certain way have, right? But I'd bet everything I have on the fact that, if you look at the financial markets, they're going to be dominated by cryptocurrency, in 5 years.
I 100% agree, and I've been saying that since I will bet everything that what I'm doing is correct. But here's the thing. I have a system, discipline, as they do. Okay, but let's dive in to what they're doing. Okay, you need to study the Witkoff family. You need to study the Trump family. You need to study the Lutnick family, Howard Lutnick, Brandon Lutnick. Okay, you need to understand Cantor. You need to understand World Liberty Financial, what they're doing. You need to understand what the Trump family is doing. They have a blue chip crypto that includes Solana, XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin, okay? CRO, crypto.com. These are all in our investment portfolio before we even knew that Trump was going to come back as the crypto capital of the world. Why? Because we're not making emotional decisions. We're not chasing meme coins. We're not chasing pump and dumps. We're studying the new infrastructural change of the financial system. This is what's happening, family. Witkoff's sons plans to tokenize Trump family real estate, including Trump Tower in Dubai. Save this video for the future. Real estate is going to be unaffordable. You're only going to be able to buy tokenized fractions of real estate. Remember the World Economic Forum told you you're going to own nothing and be happy? Wait till you see when they lower interest rates and they print money into oblivion as they switch over into a new deflationary system and get set up in the new monetary system that has a fixed supply. Guys, there's a supply and demand issue already with Bitcoin. XRP has a burn mechanism. That's why I use them both as my deflationary store of my US dollar. The Trump crypto firm is planning expansion from tokenized commodities into debit cards. Okay, the World Liberty Financial, they're going to rewire the financial system. That's why it's climbed to my top 5 investments in my portfolio. The World Liberty Financial is taking over Singapore at token 2049. The future of finance is here. Here's some examples of what's happening here. So Grant Cardone was his brother Gary Cardone is all in on Bitcoin, right? And Grant was not against, I think he was, I don't know if he would say he was against it, but he was all real estate. And then all of a sudden he flipped over the last, I think it's been about the last year. Now they're adding BTC real estate, adding BTC to real estate gives an investor the best of both worlds. So what he's doing, and I'll try to explain it as articulate as I can. I'm not a real estate guy, but I think what they're doing in their real estate funds is they're having BTC mixed with real estate. So I believe the rent payments that come in, some go in to buy BTC. So imagine you have a asset, okay, real estate that's always done well over time and has always increased. Think about it. Has real estate always gone up over time? Yes. You think it's going to get cheaper? No. It might bounce up and down, but it's always going to get more expensive. Okay. It's always going to appreciate. But then you got Bitcoin that has no renter. You don't have to clean the toilets. You don't, there's nothing to protect in regards to have to do an LLC for the property, things like that. I mean, things could happen, but there's not a renter in there. You don't have to have a property management company, but it grows 50% every single year. Think about that for just a moment. That's why they're mixing BTC in their real estate. Okay. And this over the weekend, really, really interesting. I don't know what to think about this, but just listen to what is happening, what the Treasury is about to do.
9% of the vote. Your pick this week is the $1 Trump coin. Now, the Treasury is considering minting new $1 coins for the nation's 250th anniversary, featuring an image of President Trump. A draft design of the coin features Trump's face on one side, and on the other, a portrait depicting Trump's pumping his fist in the air after his 2024 near assassination. For more, let's bring in Roman Sharameta, professor of economics at the Weatherhead School.
So they go into, is it good for the economy? It's an interesting thought process and understanding of what is actually happening here. Trump is trying to dismantle the central bank, right? I think you have your first person from Washington inside the Fed now. Jerome Powell will be let go, or he will pass the reign on to somebody else. They're going to bring somebody probably from the White House into the Federal Reserve, which is not federal nor reserve. Okay. Now, what I'm about to explain to you is extremely important because it goes into why I created my capital DR strategy, which is cash flow into appreciating assets that have fixed supply. When they appreciate, my altcoins, I stuff into protection, insurance, and that creates a leverage component. I have my Bitcoin to leverage, and I have my insurance leverage. So I'll break that down. So the first thing is I do profit taking. Okay. I do not watch my cryptos go up, and I don't watch them go up and down. I take profits. Okay. So we created this tool. I'm the co-founder and creator of Merlin, 38,000 lines of code that we created to help you. Okay. Number one, has all your assets in one place, keeps you organized. This is how when I travel, if I'm outside any of my Wi-Fi's that are not protected, I use Merlin because this is an interface. It does not hold your crypto, it doesn't hold your keys. It's an interface that shows all your assets. This is our demo account. You see all your assets in one place. You can see your allocations, keeps everything organized. You can create an exit plan. We call them profit taking plans, right? It helps you build it out. Look at this. Boom. Click on here. It'll pop up. You'll have an exit taking plan where you can decide, like this exit target, I think is a 50-50 plan. There we go. 50-50. You build out your targets, tells you exactly how much to exit. Okay. Then based on your tax professional, you put in your estimated tax and it tells you exactly where you're at. So it keeps you organized. It keeps you safe while you're traveling, right? You can actually set up your profit taking plan. You're like, well, how do I do that? Also the markets. Oh, sorry. Let me go back here. So if you go to the markets here, boom, it's all organized. You can see right now the market cap is pumping. Bitcoin, boom, there we go. 125, baby. Get ready, guys. Get ready. October, November, Bitcoin, boom, altcoins. We're here. We're here, guys. Okay, get started. You go over here. We'll show you how to do a profit taking plan. Boom, right there. You come here, you're stuck. We got customer service. We got you. So here's what we're doing for you. It's 30 days for free. Okay, go in the description of this video, download it 30 days for free, try it before you buy it. That's how confident we are. Go to my social media platform if you're watching this on social, click the link, 30 days for free, try it, play around with it, study it. You will love it. You will love it. That's why we give it away for 30 days for free, because we're so confident in the product we created, because it's what we use. I only talk about products that I use. Okay. The companies that I talk about, I own. I'm the creator of these. Okay. Very important. So let's dive in. So Capital DR. Now, the reason why I explain this stuff in such detail and nauseum over and over again, because I'm completely non-emotional about the markets. I love red because of my plan. I'm a Warren Buffett style investor in crypto. I work to create cash flow. Okay. I create cash flow. So when I get paid from my companies, which I created from the last bull run, I didn't buy Lambos, Ferraris, big houses, and watches. I kept my bills the same, and I bought and scaled businesses. I scaled businesses. I've never bought a company. I bought my insurance firm, which I'll explain in just a moment. We actually bought a startup when we built it. So I've always built my own company. So I bought cash flow by building companies, scaling them. But as I scaled and my profit went up, I actually kept my bills the same, my debts and non-negotiables, and I richest man in Babylon did. Rule number 1, save 10%. Rule number 2 is create a brother or sister. So I took that cash flow and I put it into more cash flow, a percentage of it. I put a percentage of it outside the debts and non-negotiables into 2 main ones. And I'll explain my whole portfolio. My 2 biggest holdings are XRP and Bitcoin. XRP by a long shot. Bitcoin is operating as my supercharged savings in gold. Okay, so Bitcoin is a supercharged saving, grows 50% every single year, and I can leverage it. So we're never going to sell our Bitcoin. Okay, so remember that. So my top holdings are XRP, Bitcoin, Solana, XLM, WLFI, HBAR, and VChain. Those are my top 7. Okay, I'm not saying you have to invest in; those are mine. So the top 3 that I'm going to continue to accumulate and stack over time is going to be XRP, Bitcoin, and Solana. Okay, now we're going to move Bitcoin over into the L of the category. Okay, so we have cash flow into deflationary assets. Bitcoin we're never selling. Then we have altcoins, all other coins. I profit take on the way up. I think it's ridiculous not to take profits. That's what I do. Okay, but I've been holding since 2020. Okay, I exited in 2020, 2022, built cash flow. Because what I do is when the markets come back down, I now multiplied. I turned $1 into 3, which I'll explain. Okay, cash flow, some goes into cash generating dividends. When I get paid from dividends, boom, it goes down into deflationary assets. Money from company outside of debts and non-negotiables into deflationary assets. So as you're waiting for a crypto to go up and down, I'm literally building cash flow, creating more, buying more assets, boom, buying more assets. Okay, it goes up, I pull profits, I put it into protection. Now I have 2 leverage components. So as you watch a market go up and down, when it goes back down, I can leverage over here and I can go back in. Okay, $1 went in, profited, took $1 out, protection, created leverage, richest man in Babylon. And now I have leverage. And so that $1 can be borrowed against as long as I beat the hurdle rate and I go buy another asset. And now that $1 became $3. That's how winning is done. It's not sitting there watching the markets go up. It's about building a disciplined, consistent plan. And then DR is de-risk, de-risk, de-risk. Okay. I have high generating dividends. I de-risk out into Bitcoin and XRP. Bitcoin and XRP feel safe to me. Okay. I believe in them. I'm holding them. And that's the key to this. I don't care what you invest in. You just have to beat inflation. Okay. You have to beat inflation. I want you to picture it this way. You're in a hole when you're born, right when you're born. You're born into a system. You get a birth certificate. They tell you go to school, get a job, get a 401k, and get a good credit score. And they put you in the system and they throw you in a hole and they put a backpack on you. Listen to what I'm about to say. This is important. Okay. The backpack is getting filled with rocks. Your auto loan, your mortgage, your credit card, that's interest. That's what the feds control. Okay. And then you have inflation. There's somebody standing on there with a shovel. Okay. And inflation, they have a big pile of dirt. That's inflation. Okay. Let's say it's 2 to 3% every single year. So every year they're pouring more dirt into the hole and you're adding more debt into your backpack. So you're getting deeper and deeper and deeper. And if you are in a job, a job, and you have no investments outside your 401k, and you're not beating inflation, you're getting poorer every single year. The hole is getting deeper and deeper and deeper. You're like, well, how can you say that, JB? Guys, look at the wealth gap from 1971. Wake up. The wealth gap since 1971 has become massive. The wealth gap from 2020 to 2025, who got wealthier? The tech companies. We all became poor because we had 24% inflation from 2020 to 2025. So imagine you're in the hole in 2020. You make $100,000 a year. They poured a bunch of dirt on top of you, and then you had to monetize debt to stay afloat, and you're deep in the hole now. And so you think you're coming out of it because now the markets are coming back, but you have all this inflation you have to make up. Now you have all this debt you have to pay off. It's the American trap. It's not the American dream. And we have this opportunity where we have these asset classes that we can actually beat inflation. I crushed inflation with XRP and Bitcoins from 2020. And I'm about to destroy inflation from 2025 to 2030. I don't care what you invest in. Listen to me. But you have to beat the hurdle rate. You have to beat inflation. You have to understand what interest means. The whole system is interest. The whole system is debt, guys. One man's assets or another man's liabilities. That is it. That's the game. There's no emotion in it. That is the game. That is the game you're playing. You're either the consumer or you're the person that owns it. Okay? There's one man's assets or another. It's time to wake up. So you're in the hole now. And if you don't beat inflation, if your boss doesn't give you a raise that beats inflation every single year, you become poor. And then you buy an auto loan, you extend it out over 72 months, and everybody asks, what's the payment? You should be asking, what's the interest rate? And what is this going to cost me in the future? And how much is this going to take away from my family? Because you get a 72-month auto loan, and then you can't even pay it off. So you flip the negative equity into a new car, and you just took more money away from your family. You extended your buying power without extending your income, and they keep pouring inflation on top of your excuse my language. You have to wake up. And then you retire with $1 million at 4%. That's $40,000 in retirement income. And you're still in that hole and they keep pouring on inflation. Then we got to go work at Walmart to pay for our medication. That's not the game, guys. Well, I hope I can, when can I collect? You know how many people I've heard, oh, well, I hope I can collect Social Security. And I hope, no, hope is not a strategy. It is not a strategy. The Trump family's making moves. The Witkoff family is making moves. Larry Fink is making moves. Ray Dalio is making moves. Kathy Woods is making moves. Robert Kiyosaki is making moves. And now you have this data. You have the internet, and you can start to make moves. Read The Richest Man in Babylon, Think and Grow Rich, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. Study in the Bible, the wisdom of King Solomon. Okay? Since the 1900s, they put us in a schooling system that taught us to become workers. The American dream became the American trap. I'm proud to be an American. I love being an American. I built 6 companies in America here, and it was hard, it was difficult, but it was worth it. When I finally understood cash flow quadrant, Richest Man in Babylon, I'm like, oh, nobody's doing anything to you. You all have access to this. Listen to me. You all have access to this. You've decided to wait for a savior. You decided for the next president to do this. Well, he's going to lower interest rates, and they're going to print a ton of money. And you better watch what they're doing. You better watch where they're moving their money. Because when this plane lands in 2029, do you think printing money in a low interest rate environment is going to cause less inflation or more inflation? It's mathematics. There's more debt than there's money in the system, guys. It's called supply and demand. The tide goes in, the tide goes out. The sun comes up, the sun goes down. Everything cycles just like you. So that's why I'm stoic. That's why I'm calm. I follow capital DR. I don't care about riddlers. I don't care about dates. Nobody can FUD me in. Nobody can FUD me out. It's God, family, protection of my ecosystem at all costs. And I stay out of your business because I'm too busy working on mine. That's all I got for you today. I love you guys very, very much. If you're here, I've been getting tons of messages. I have a free section on my YouTube channel here where I go over all this stuff. I actually got a whiteboard. I'm going to be going over a lot more whiteboarding. We got a vibe board. I also do have a program where we do not invest people's money. Stop responding to scammers. In the description of this video on my social media platform, click link. You can actually report scam accounts. We do not invest people's crypto. We will never reach out to you about your crypto. Never send anybody crypto pretending to be us. Okay. We are educators. Okay. We have our education program where I teach capital DR. It's conceptual. I teach you the concepts to empower you to make decisions. So if you want to learn how I do capital DR, how I create cash flow, why I pick the assets that I do, how I use leverage, all those different things, it's concepts so that you can be empowered to do it yourself. Okay. That's my goal. My goal is to take the 1% and expand it to the 5% before I leave this earth. Warriors, let's get your shit together. Let's go.